Good day and welcome to yet another edition of Game Time with Marco. It's a pleasure being in your company, and thank you for the views, your comments, additions, and for those of you that started liking our page, please keep doing so. And remember, don't forget to register to vote. Your vote is your say. Everybody must vote, must register to vote, especially those that qualify to vote. And for those of you that don't have voters cards, please go and register. We want you to vote. The elections are coming in November. We'll all be voting. And this is another edition of Game Time with Marco. Today we have another special guest who's joining us. He's I don't want to say a veteran because he's still playing, but he's a veteran. He's been scoring goals left, right, and center the past 2 seasons. He was scoring them before the multiple titles that he has won. Represented, I think, all the levels of the national teams in the country. And Awilo, how's it?
Thank
you for joining us, Chief.
Thanks for having me, Marco.
Yeah. So we've been trying to get you for some time, man. I don't know. Your phone numbers are a problem.
Actually, I have 2. One is a TN mobile number, but I only use that on WhatsApp, and the other one, the MTC number, is the one that I normally use day to day.
Oh, it's not for other things?
Yeah, no, not
You're not hiding for people who owe you money or anything?
No, yeah, unfortunately not.
Okay. Anyway, talking about, we are going to talk a lot about football today, but before we do that, we just want to know you. We just want to get to know you. Just give us a brief about yourself. Who are you? Where were you born? Where did you go to school? How many are you in the family? How many children you have? Yeah.
Okay, my name is Willy Stephanus. Awilo is just a nickname that I got in primary school from friends of mine.
So Awilo is a nickname?
Yeah, Awilo is a nickname. My name is Willy Stephanus. I was born in Marintal, but we're actually from Keetmanshoop. Raised that side, went to school, primary school, high school, finished my high school there as well in Keetmanshoop. The family is a huge family. I have a lot of siblings. The number, I think my dad is the only one that knew the number. Unfortunately, he's no more. So he's the one that knew the number. So I can't go into that for now.
Yeah.
Yes, but I was born in a family of football, whereby my family, most of my elder brothers played football, and then I also joined the trade, and then I played football as well up until now.
Okay, and in terms of school, high school, you said you went to Marintal as well?
I know, Keetmanshoop.
In Keetmanshoop, okay.
Yes.
And then you're talking about your family being a family of footballers. Your dad was a footballer himself?
Yeah, no, my dad was a footballer himself. Former Orlando Pirates player.
Okay, and then the other siblings that played football?
Yeah, no, I have a lot of siblings that played football. Most of them are not that well known, like Lolo and myself. But Alan Shugube, they also played. They also played for Orlando Pirates back in the day. Jackie Stephanus played for SKW.
I remember Jackie, yeah.
Vladimir Abrams played for Civics. I think most of the people doesn't know that Vladi is also my brother. So he played for Civics as well. Or when Civics won the triple, I think. So he was also a player that played for Civics.
Oh, okay. So that's a huge family.
Yeah,
I know Jackie Stephanus. I remember him. And you, when did the football bug bite?
Yeah, so the thing is, when I went to the school that we went to back in Keetmanshoop, it was a so-called white school, both the primary and the high school. So we were forced to play rugby back in the day. But then, as I grew older, I was like, okay, no man. I think I only started taking football serious on the age of 16. So I was like, no man. Rugby after school, because normally we have our idols that we are looking up to. Back in the days, we were watching Mohammed then playing in Kaiser Chiefs and stuff like that. So I was like, no. In terms of going out of the country, I think football is the key, the map to going outside the country, not rugby at the time.
Oh, you didn't consider any other profession, lawyer, doctor, teacher, nurse?
There was a time that I was really interested, because I had computer studies in school, so I was interested in IT work. So there was a time I was really interested in that, and then the time I wanted to take that route, the contract outside of Namibia came. So I was like, let me go for this for now.
Oh, so you wanted to go to university or college to study IT?
Yeah, yes.
And then you got a contract outside the country?
Yeah, outside the
okay.
country.
And then locally, in Keetmanshoop, did you play for any local teams, the teams that developed you?
There was a team that I started in the 2nd division with. It was called Real Fighters FC, but I didn't really play there, because normally we only played like tournaments and stuff. But then a team called FedEx United spotted me playing for Real Fighters. And then FedEx was in the Premier League at the time. I think it was the 2007-8 season. So they spotted me at that. I think I was grade 10 at the time. So they spotted me and they were like, no, we want that boy. Let's try him out at the FedEx. So I think that's the year I made my debut in the Namibian Premier League.
How was it? Do you remember your first match?
Yes, I remember my first match. It was against African Stars at the SKW Stadium. I think Stars lost the previous weekend to Orlando Pirates. It was like a 6-0 scoreline, I think. So now we were the underdog that came to the Wounded Lion, and then they walked over us at the SKW Stadium that day.
What was the scoreline?
It was only 3-0, but the way they were playing, because we didn't have any answers for the attack that they were giving us.
Okay, so you're unfortunate to come to a team that had lost.
Yeah.
And then now you play for FedEx. How many seasons did you play for FedEx?
Only one season.
And then where did you move to?
Immediately after FedEx, I came to Windhoek for a newspaper cup in 2009. We played the newspaper cup here, and then that's where BA spotted me.
And you signed for BA?
Signed for BA.
Now at BA, you played with some great players there at BA. Some of them, they were coming from outside the country, coming to just run down their careers.
Yes, yeah.
Others were still on the rise. Who would you say welcomed you and taught you the ropes at BA?
The player that took me in at the time, I think it was Brian Bantam. He was also from the south, so he was the player that took me in. Because at the time when I came, Windhoek was still new to me, all the bright lights and stuff. So he was the one that no, let me take this boy under my wing. He was even the one that gave me boots and said, no, here you go. This is boots that you can play with, and go do your thing. And then from there, immediately after a pre-season cup that we played, I think it was a FNB pre-season cup that we played, the 4 nations. It was Black Africa, Oshakati said the 11 Arrows and Tigers at the time. So at that tournament, that's where I was signed by Ali Akan after the tournament, because they also actually invited me for trials as well. But then we played that tournament, and immediately after the tournament, they just like, no, this is someone that we can consider signing. And then immediately the next week, I put a pen to paper.
Do you remember your first salary?
Yes.
Okay, we're going to talk about it later.
It was 1,500, and for me at the time it was a lot of money, because I was still schooling in Kettmans. So I had to like drive every Friday after school to come play, and then go back the Sunday again.
Oh, so the money was just for transport?
No, it was basically my salary. They were covering the transport, but the salary was 1.5. So for me as a youngster, still schooling in Kettmans, 1.5 was a lot.
So how were you balancing training in Kettmans and coming to play for Black Africa, as well as playing for Black Africa, training in Kettmans and going to school?
Okay, the schooling part, I was staying in the hostel, so the school and stuff was everything was sorted. The training part was the difficult part. So now I had to look for teams that side to train with. But then the trust that PA had in me at the time, it was Coach Ali Akan. So he was like, no, just whatever you do, even if you just jog or train with some other teams that side, just do a bit of work, but just know whenever you come, we won't let you travel all the way for free or just for like that. As soon as you are here, you will either get your last few minutes, or we might even start you. So I had to put the extra work in that side.
How was it training on yourself at that age? You know, you're still at school. Some of your schoolmates are busy chasing girls and doing other stuff, and you are there now to do. You know, you have to play. You have to train. How were you handling that?
I think at that age, as a youngster, you are not really focused on. You don't know whether you are top fit or you are fit, or as long as you are doing whatever they are asking from you, which is just maybe doing some road work or whatever it may be. And then at the end of the day, there was also school tournaments that was taking place there. I think the Coca-Cola Youth Cup at the time was still busy as well. So training with the school team, and then immediately Friday after school taking a bus to Windhoek. So I think when it comes to training, I was sorted. But as a youngster, you never knew how much work you had to put in. But since you love the sport, it's just like, okay, do the work. When you come this side, you just can play. So
would you say that shaped you to the kind of player that you are right now, that even at your age, you are still outperforming younger, upcoming players in the positions that you play?
Yeah, I think that the thing that's helping me currently now, it's the experience. Like I said, because most of the people are saying I'm old, but it's because maybe I started at a very young age. So I've been in the game for a long time. So now they think, I know this guy must be old. But I started my debut that I make in the Namibian Premier League was on the age of 17. So for me to be a regular household name ever since then. I think people are starting to get tired of the name now. They are saying he might be old, but I think I still have the legs, I still have the drive, and I've picked up so many things outside of Namibia, which I'm now currently using to my advantage.
All right, you're at BA now. You've signed for BA 2009, right?
2009, yes.
After the Newspaper Cup, you signed for BA. You are coming from Kidmans to play here. I think that's the time also BA was also on the upward trajectory to actually win titles. Take us through that period of time when you're playing for BA.
Yeah, the first season that I signed, we ended third. We got bronze that season, and then immediately after that, Coach Brian took over the other season. So that's the time we won the 4 leagues in a row. So I think that was the time that we were really unstoppable as a team. We had that's the time also like the likes of Hartman Toromba them came back from
yes.
SA. We had a lot of quality players here. Jerome Lewis, Brian Banda, Marco van Wyk joined, Warren Nigel joined, Arnold Subeb was also there, Elifas Haidak. We had like a good balanced squad. We were a lot of youngsters, we had experience, and then we also had players like Hartman coming back from SA. So we had a really good balanced squad. That's why we were unstoppable at the time.
How was it now winning the title, your first title, if you remember it?
That was something that I won't forget. Because at the age of 21, winning my first title in Namibia, and then the bonus check at the time was huge. Imagine a player, a youngster like me, on the age of 21, getting a big bonus check of almost 25,000. I think that's something that I won't forget up until now, and that's from there. That's something that shaped my career as well. I'm thinking, okay, if you can win this on such a young career, you still have a long way to go.
All right, 25,000. Yeah, that was a lot of money
back then,
in
yes.
2009, 2010. That was a lot of money. But then you then go for trials. I think you went to Bloemfontein Celtic.
Yeah, Bloemfontein. Actually, there's something that we just kept under the radar back then. Before Bloemfontein, there was an invitation by Sundowns in 2012. But then, unfortunately, I don't know whether BA got the email late or whatever. But the time we received the email, we tried to reach out to Sundowns again. But then, I think that's the time Sundowns fired the coach that wanted me. The coach, I think he was called Johan Neskens. Neskens. So he's the one that wanted me. But then at the time we responded to Sundowns, they said no, but unfortunately that coach is gone. So I think Pitso Mosimane took over, and he had his other ideas. And then the next year it was the trials at Bloemfontein.
So how did you feel about losing that chance at Sundowns?
Okay, as a youngster at the time, I don't think Sundowns was a big team. We only knew about Chiefs, Pirates, Supersport was also doing good. I think with Kevin Hand at the time. So Sundowns was coming up. So for me, losing out on Sundowns was not really a big deal at the time. So,
but now, if you look
if I look back at my age at the time, 21, 22, getting an invitation from Sundowns is something that really touched me.
And then you go to Bloemfontein Celtic. I think the coach was Tom. Who was the coach there?
No, it was Clinton Larson.
Clinton Larson. Okay.
Larson, yes.
How was it?
That thing was also a funny story because Clinton Larson came to watch Denzel House here because we played Nigeria here. There was a home game that we played Nigeria and the national team. But I was on the bench and I think I got like the last 20 minutes or so. So immediately after the game, the agent of Denzel House, Colin April, also called me and said, no, please come to Safari after the game. I want to talk with you. And then we went there. So when we went in there, it was the coach Clinton Larson himself and the owner, Jimmy Augusto of Bloemfontein Celtic. And then the coach wanted Denzel, but then Jimmy said, no, this is someone that we can also consider. So they are playing for the same team, which is BA at the time. Why not invite them both for trial?
Okay, interesting. And that was 2014?
2013.
2013.
Yeah.
I think it was Manetti's first game as coach, right?
Yeah, I think that was Manetti's first game as coach.
As coach of the 1-1 draw.
Yeah, the 1-1 draw, yeah.
So you go to Bloemfontein Celtic, you go for those trials. There were rumors that you rejected the national call to go to those trials. There was a COSAFA Cup instead of playing at the COSAFA.
No, the COSAFA that was not it because we were in Zambia for COSAFA already. So they also sent scouts to go watch us there
in Zambia.
Yeah.
Which COSAFA did you not attend?
It was 2016. It was like 3 years after.
Oh, okay. Yes. We'll talk about that as well. Yeah. So then, how did the trials go at Bloemfontein?
Okay, so after the COSAFA, we flew straight to SA where we met the team in Pretoria, and then we played like there was like a pre-season tournament, the Gauteng Cup thing in Pretoria where we played. We won the first game against Tuks, and then we played the final against Chiefs. Unfortunately, we lost out on that, but then we went to Bloemfontein for training, and then that's where Clinton was happy with me and Denzel, and then he told us, no, I'm happy with what I've seen, so it's just now between the two clubs to negotiate the transfer fees and stuff. So what I understood back then was Bloemfontein offered BA 600,000 for both players, but then BA wanted $1 million.
For both players?
Yeah, so because since we were the upcoming stars, the rising stars of BA, because we started playing for the national team, so now BA wanted $1 million and Bloemfontein only offered like a 600. That's how that deal did not went through.
How did you feel about it?
I only found out about it way after that, so I was like, now it's done.
But
so
when you are told by the coach that no, I like you, I will, yeah, but then the deal doesn't go through, you didn't ask around, what's going on, what is the problem?
The thing is, after the coach was happy, we started looking for apartments and stuff, so we found apartments that side, everything was sorted. So now the coach told us, no, go back to Namibia, get your things, and then as soon as the transfer deals are done, you guys can come over. So we came back, and now we're just waiting for the two teams to settle the deal. So now all of a sudden nothing is happening, and the league started this side as well. So we're just like, okay, let's just keep busy while we are still waiting for the two clubs to sort out the thing. But then unfortunately it did not go through.
So when did the opportunity for you come now to go outside the country, and which country did you go to?
It was 2015 after we won
the COSAFA.
COSAFA, yes. I came back from COSAFA, and then we played CHAN qualifiers against Zambia, where we played home first. I think we won 2-1 here, and then immediately after that game, that's where I got an offer in Thailand. So I was like, okay, the offer that they gave me was like almost close to 8,000 US per month. So I was like, okay, this is almost, at the time it was like 120 our money. So I had to choose now between playing the away game against Zambia or go for trial in Thailand.
Oh, so that's the match that they said you rejected.
Yeah,
it.
that's where the whole fight against me started.
Okay, but did you explain to the coaches that I have this deal at the table?
Immediately when I got the offer, we were still in camp. So as soon as I got the offer from my agent that side, I went to Jake's Amaning, which was the team manager at the time. So I gave the email or the offer to Jake's. Then he was like, okay, we're just waiting for the coaches to come through. As soon as the coaches are here, we'll definitely talk to them. And then they gave the coaches the offer, and then all of them were like, okay, no, it's fine, you can we are excusing you from camp.
Oh, so the coaches agreed that you go?
Yes, so I went straight from camp. I went out and then finished my visa, and then I think in 2 days or so, I was supposed to fly to Thailand, and then I just got a call from the SG at the time, Perry, claiming I need to refund the country or the FA. So I was like, okay, what do I need to refund, or what did I do? Because the communication was smooth up until now, up until the call. And then Perry said, no, apparently when we went to Ghana for a training camp before those games, those flight tickets, the hotels and stuff, they could have taken another plane instead of me that's going to Thailand now. So I was like, okay, now, since there was still a winning bonus outstanding, you can just deduct whatever I owe you from that money, and then the rest give it to a church in Kettmans. So I think that's where all the fight started, when I told them, no, deduct whatever I owe you, and then the rest that's left, give it to my church in Kettmans.
So you say they must give the money to the church, and I think it rubbed them the wrong way.
Yeah, I think that's where all the fighting.
But so when now you spoke to the coach to try and find out from him, coach, you agreed that I must go, but the FA is saying I must pay back. Was there any communication after that?
After that, I did not reach out, because I did my part as a player. I got the offer. I went to the manager, which is the one between
the players,
players and the coaches, or the FA. Yeah. So I went to Jake's at the time. He told me, no, let's just wait for the coach. They will talk. And then immediately after they spoke, they called me in and they said, no, they're excusing me from camp.
So would you say it was jealous?
I won't say jealous. Those games are also very important, because we won at the time, the home game. So now for us, we had a good, strong squad of local players that could also go to Zambia, win again, and then qualify for the first CHAN. So I think me going out of camp after I scored a year at the Zambian Stadium at the time, going out of camp now, they have to readjust and then get another player that can fill my place. I think that's where the whole fight or the confusion came in.
Yeah, but for 120,000, imagine if you had not gone to Thailand, you would have lost on a contract worth 120,000 Namibian dollars a month.
Yes.
So I think, don't you think the communication in between there was sort of blurred somehow?
What they were asking from me was finishing the game and then only go after the game.
But with the other
but
team,
then on the other side again, the agent and the team was like, it was a race against time. So they're like, how soon can the player get here, so we can quickly finalize the deal and then sign. So for now, the agent, he also did not want to lose out on the deal. Me staying for another week and then only going to Thailand. So it was a matter of race against time. I had to get there before Friday, and then the national team had to play, I think the Saturday or the Sunday in Zambia.
So that meant you couldn't be registered. If you go on a Sunday, you can't be registered.
Yes.
Okay, but then you go to Thailand. How many seasons did you stay in Thailand?
I played there 2 seasons. The first one, when I went there, I was still under contract at BA, but they also wanted money again. But then unfortunately, the team was not willing to pay the amount or whatever. So we had to settle for a loan agreement first. So the first season I played, I went there with a loan deal. So after that, then my contract expired at BA. So and then I signed the next year again.
It looks like there are always issues when it comes to player contracts in Namibia. You know, with either even the national team or the clubs. Where do you think the problem is? I mean, you've played in Zambia, you've played in Thailand and in other countries as well. What are we doing wrong?
I won't say we are doing anything wrong.
As a country, because
I personally think clubs have the right to ask for whatever money, because since we are the most, because we are the assets of PA at the time, or whatever club you are belonging to at the time. But then Namibia is not Namibia is a country that's not recognized globally when it comes to football. So whenever a team from Namibia is asking this amount, so now clubs are like, this country is not even recognized, so why are they asking for this amount? So I think the countries out there, they are not respecting us as a nation when it comes to players going out there. So I won't blame BA at the time or any other club. So I think the clubs outside Namibia, they are the ones refusing, we can't pay that amount. So they want to pay a ridiculous amount instead of what the club is asking for.
So you if I get you correctly, you are saying that it will be fine for BA to demand $1 million or $500,000 for a player. It's only up to that other club to say we value this player that much and then pay. Okay, now I get you. And then after Thailand, where did you go?
After Thailand, I came back and then I played for like 6 months here in Namibia as well, and then I got a deal in Finland.
Who did you play for when you came back? BA again?
BA again, yes. So I played for BA again, and then after that I went straight to Finland for another 2 seasons as well.
In Finland?
Yes.
And during that time, from Thailand, coming here and then going to Finland and playing there, were you considered for the national team?
No. I think that's the 2 years that I was also not playing for the national team. I only got back in the national team after signing in Finland again.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
And when you came back, did you ever sit down with the SG to say, you know, last time we did not leave each other in the right way?
Yeah, no, we actually did. I met him at the restaurant in Eros, and then he was with his family and I was with some friends of mine, and then he called me one side, and then we had to sit down just for like 5 or 10 minutes, that's it, I think, and then he told me no, from their side as well, they are apologizing, and then we buried the hatchet at the time, and then he told me that he will get back to the FA, and then the money that they still owed me, that I think it was a 20,000 winning bonus that they still owed me, he will definitely pay that money, and then the next day or so they paid the money. So I think that's where me and the SG, we were fine from there onwards. But for the national team issue, I was not considered for those 2 years that I was in. Yeah.
So somehow he had an influence in you not being considered, right?
I don't know.
I mean, he calls you, he says you must pay this money.
Yeah.
You must pay back this money. You don't pay it back. You tell him, do this, send the money to Kitmans. And they don't do that. They keep your money. You go out of the country for 2 years, they still owe you. You meet him at a restaurant, 5 minutes down the line, you bury the hatchet, and the following day you get your money.
Yeah.
All right, then, very interesting. And then now you are back in the national team. Were you accepted by your colleagues and the coach and the coaching department? You know, the coaching staff, the team manager, the kit manager. You know.
Getting back in the national team was actually after I think it was my second season in Finland. So there was a time we were about to finish the league. So I was talking to Coach Ronnie because I think he was the coach of UNAM at the time. So I told him, when I get back, I want to try out something new. Maybe join UNAM or just to train with them up until I go back to Finland again. So we agreed. Then a few days after we spoke about me coming and training with them, he just called me again and said, no. He asked me when am I apologizing. Then I was like, apologize to who and what do I need to do? Because he told me they need me in the national team because there was the 2019 AFCON qualifiers coming up. So he asked me when am I apologizing, and then he advised me what to do. I need to write an email to the FA, which is to apologize for going to Thailand instead of the Zambia game. So I was like, okay, fine. Since the coach spoke to me, he advised me on what to do. I wrote an email to Perry at the time, the SG. So I wrote the email to Perry, and then immediately after they received the email, the media officer of NFA, I think it was Dan Kamati, he contacted me and said, no, I must apologize to Coach Manetti, and not to the FA. So for me now, I was not confused whether Coach Manetti fit into whatever I had with the FA. So I was like, okay, can I just edit the same letter and give it to Manetti, or go get the letter from the SB and then just give it to Manetti as well? So they were like, no, I need to write another email. But then I wrote another email to Manetti, or to him, which he gave the coach, and then a few days later, I was in the newspapers, headlines, Aula apologized, and him and Manetti buried the hatchet and whatever. So the call-up came, and then I was in the squad. So after that, we never spoke about it after I came from Finland for that Zambia game against the AFCON qualifier. So we never spoke about that issue. And then we just continued.
We're playing football.
Yeah.
All right, and then we play Zambia. I think we drew here.
Yeah, we drew.
Went to Mozambique, beat Mozambique away, beat Mozambique here at home.
Yeah.
Went to Zambia, lost 4-1.
Yeah.
4-1 or 4-2.
Actually, we played Guinea-Bissau first.
Guinea-Bissau, yeah.
And then we drew against Guinea-Bissau.
Here, and then they beat us away.
Yeah, no, the first game, I was not part of the first game.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I know they beat us away from home. And then the last match against Zambia,
we lost 4-1.
We lose 4-1. Before that match, you guys had a war in Zambia there. The players, it was under the normalization committee now.
That's
there were issues.
The normalization. I think that's the first game that the normalization committee came in. So they also.
They're not there in Mozambique. They were part of the Mozambique, I think. The away and the home.
I don't think they were there. They only came to.
The Zambia game.
Yes. Maybe they were appointed already, but they attended the Zambia game.
The Zambia game. Yeah. How was it? What was the fight? I was in Zambia, but I wasn't staying at the same hotel with you guys.
Oh no, the fight was actually just us as players on what we want if we qualify for AFCON. So there was no fight between. There was actually no fight because we were demanding this amount, and they were saying, okay, no. They need to sit down and then put it on paper and whatever. So we agreed on the amount. So between the players and the normalization committee, I don't think there was any fight. So what we as players asked for, they said, okay, no, they just need to have meetings and then they will come back to us. But then the thing, I think where people thought there was a fight is, we were waiting for the answer in Joburg before we went to Zambia. But then they were still not ready yet. So now we as players were like, we still need an answer, so when are we getting the answer? Because we are playing this weekend in 2 days' time. So they were like, no, just fly to Zambia. We will fly to Zambia, then we'll have a talk that side. So they arrived the same day as we landed. We had a meeting, and then we agreed to the amount.
But some people feel that it affected the team's performance. Because I felt when you guys in Joburg, there was a talk of you guys not even going to Zambia.
Yes. Okay, that was basically as players. I think that was the downfall from our side. Telling them that we are not going to fly for the game.
Zambia, yeah.
So we were like, okay, this is what we asked for way before the call-up. So now they never came back to us regarding what they have decided. So like, no, if you guys haven't decided yet, we're also not going to go for the game.
But then the issue of bonuses for the national team, it always comes up.
Yeah.
The AFCON the tournament, pre-tournament,
yeah,
there were issues again. Even the match against South Africa, the last match against South Africa at the AFCON in Egypt. Was it Egypt?
Egypt, yes.
Yeah. You guys slept at 4 in the morning negotiating with
I know, when our Egypt AFCON, we only had money talks. That Zambia game. After that, everything was sorted because
the tournament itself, there were money issues. I know. I have my
not between the players and that one. I can assure you there was nothing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because we were happy with because what we asked for the qualification bonus. That's only what we asked for because we wanted for qualification. We wanted 30,000 per game.
Oh, okay.
Which was like 180 per player. Okay, if you played all the games.
Yeah.
So we only asked for 30,000 per game.
Yeah.
So they were like, no, they can't do that, and we were like, we qualified for AFCON. Some other countries are getting way more than what we are getting. So this is just what we are asking, 30,000 per game. So the 6 games which came up to 180 per player, or if you played all the games. Yeah. So that's what we asked for, and then they met the demand, and then they paid the 180. After that, whatever we got besides that were even a bonus for us because they paid us a lot of money.
Okay. So you guys happy?
So money wise we were happy. Okay. It was only the qualification bonus that we were. Yeah.
But that issue still comes up even up to now. Don't you think our FA is not learning? There is no institutional memory to say in 20 whatever we had this money. I was speaking to Coach Ronnie the other day. They also had issues of money in one COSAFA final where they played Angola during their days. And if you look at Coach Ronnie's days and your days what we saw this year.
But my personal opinion around that money issue is I think the FA is waiting for that last minute to communicate money issues. And that's where players also feel like, no, we're not going to go play because that's the only weapon we as players have to tell the nation or the FA we're not going to play.
Yeah.
But I think if there's many issues, whenever we qualify or can be negotiated way in advance, and I don't think it will have a major or an effect on the games. So I think from the FA side, when things are said like, okay, the team qualified, we're going to play World Cup next year, 2026. So this is the amount that we are looking at. If you progress to the next stage, this is the amount. So players can already know, okay, this is what we are getting. Instead of
waiting until the last minute and say we're giving it this.
A day before the game, and then now all of a sudden, if FIFA or CAF says, no, this is the amount that we are giving the nation, now players are like, oh, this is way more than what we were offered. Yeah. So can we renegotiate? And then unfortunately with the for the pre-tournament or the last AFCON, I think it was already put in writing. So now that the players learn, now it's way more than what they were offered. So now it's way lot more money. So now players are like, no, let's renegotiate, and the FA was not willing to do that. Okay, that's what I think. So yeah,
no, it's there are a lot of views around that.
A lot of views,
And then now let's look at you now. You went and then you played in Zambia. There's a point in time where you played in Zambia. I think it was Power Dynamos.
Lusaka
Dynamos, yeah.
Yes.
How was it? How was the standard of football there?
Compared to our local football, I think they are more physical. They are more physical than us because Namibian football is more based on running because we are more lighter on the feet. So our football is more based on running. But they have quite a good teams like Zanaco, Zesco, Power Dynamos themselves, teams that can play the ball. But then when it comes to the physical part, I think they are more physical than us. And then their league is I think they are. I won't say they are professional. They are semi-pro. They are getting there. but compared to us, they are a few steps ahead of Namibian football.
What did you learn, in terms of administration, the training methods, the fixturing of games? Just basically, what did you learn? What did you learn there?
A lot. That was actually basically my first contract outside of Namibia, but in Africa. The other two was just in Asia and in Europe. But coming back to Africa or coming back to Namibia and then going to Zambia, I learned a lot. That's even the time I was playing for Lusaka Dynamos when we qualified for AFCON. Yeah, so bringing that experience of African football into back to the national team helped us a lot, because at the time we were like 3 or 4 players playing at Lusaka Dynamos that were part of the national team. It was me, Pedro Shitembi, Tiberius Lombard, and Hendrik Somat. So the 4 of us coming from that league, helping out our other country mates at the national level when it comes to African football. He helped us a lot in terms of qualifying.
All right. And then now you play in Zambia. After that, you come back to Namibia.
Yeah.
You went back to BA again.
No, African Star straight.
You went to African Star straight?
Yes.
So you were not part of the last BA team that won the title?
The time I was in Zambia, I think that's the 3-4 years that there was no football.
Yeah.
I think that's a transitional league thing where BA won. That time I was in Zambia.
In Zambia, okay. So you won the first 4, right? Were you part of the 4, those 4?
Yes.
The first 4. And then you come back to Stars, you get the 2. You're one of the most decorated now. I think the highest decorated is your fitness coach.
Yeah, Rudy Lowe.
Yes, he is 7. Yes. And you're at 6.
Yeah, at 6 now.
You're targeting him.
Yes, going for that. But now we had that talk the other day at training, and then he was like, no, he has 7, but now as a coach, he also has another gold medal. So I was like, then it means I won't catch him. Then it means I won't catch him.
Okay.
Yeah, but I also have a medal in Zambia as well. We won the Absa Cup.
Absa Cup, okay.
Yes. There was a time we won the league, but then our team had issues of not paying players, and then they were deducted points. Like 9 points at the end of the season, so we lost out on the league. But overall, we won the league, and then after taking those points, they
didn't have the problem with paying you.
I won the case as well. Actually, I won the case. Yeah, I had the same issue with
them. Yeah, and then you came back to Stars. The first year you guys didn't win the league when you were there, right?
It Stars.
Yeah.
No, we won the league.
You won the league
last season, yes.
Oh, and you're top goal scorer.
Yeah.
At Stars, and then the second year again, which is this one that just ended, you also become top goal scorer and you win the league. But along the way, you seem to have evolved from being an out-and-out winger to a player who just floats around the field of play.
Actually, when I joined Stars, we had a lot of attacking players. Coach Bakera at the time, so now he had to sit down with us as senior players and see what we can do, what system we need to play just to accommodate all of us. Because now we had promising youngsters like Ed Makamaduka as well, which since I changed my position from a winger to a more number 10 role, that free role, he was also playing that role. So we had to adjust our system so that me and Kamaduka can play at the same time. So that's when we decided, okay, let's play with lesser defenders and then more attacking players. So that's when we started, okay, let's play with 3 defenders at the back, 5 midfielders, and then 2 strikers up front.
And then how does that now sort of make you stand out? Because you can adjust. You can play as an out-and-out 9. You can play as from either side of the wing. You can play as a number 10. I haven't seen you play defensive midfield, but I think you can do it.
No. I don't think. That's one thing that I've always struggled with, defending. I think that's also one of the problems the national selectors had all these years. Defending was one of the things that I always struggled with as a footballer. But there was a game that I think the AFCON that we qualified, we also played the same system, which was the 3-5-2. So I played as a wing back as well. So as long as a coach can direct me on what to do, what not to do, I think I can manage when it comes to defending. But they always had this thing of Awilo is only. You can only see him whenever he has the ball, but without the ball, he can't go into one-on-one duels and stuff. But then as the football is changing, evolving, defending is not all about just going into physical battles again. As long as I, as a player, can close some passing lines and stuff, and for those guys not to play a forward pass, that's also part of defending. But that's it from a coaching point of view. From a player's point of view, again, everyone has his job. For me, track back whenever I'm needed, but then whenever I get the ball, I need to have the energy and the power to deliver.
Yeah, and you brought the subject of the national team. I was trying to avoid it. I didn't want to talk about it, but you keep bringing it up. Let's talk about the national team right now. They just played 2 matches against Liberia and Tunisia.
Tunisia, yeah.
Drew both of them, 1-1 and 1-0. They were at AFCON, they scored 1 goal, and there was a lot of noise coming through.
Yeah.
We want Awilo, we want Awilo, we want Awilo. The coach explained, there were explanations given by the coach, there were explanations given by you.
Yeah.
You, can you just clarify that thing, like kill it once and for all? What happened?
Okay. I don't think me and Coach Colin personally has any issues with each other, because I've ran into Coach Colin a lot of times where we had our personal talks based on football and other stuff, because I was also having a project in Ketman's work that I needed advice from him. So I went to him, I called him, and then he advised me on what to do. So I don't think when it comes to that, people are saying no, there must be something personal between the two. I don't think that's an issue.
Okay, so that one, there's no issue. Yeah.
There's no issue between me and Coach Colin. The decision of me coming down to the fact that I retired was, I felt honestly disrespected at the time because before when Coach Colin took over, we met at the funeral, and he told me, no, there's this COSAFA coming up, so he wants to look at the younger boys. So us as senior players, there's AFCON qualifiers and stuff. So we're gonna set that one out so that he can look at the youngsters first. So fine, I understood what he was talking about as a player. So the COSAFA was done, and then the AFCON games came. So the first call up, I was not there, and then he's like, no, I want the runners in my team. So, but now as a coach, before I was a winger, but now I'm playing a different role. And in that different role, I'm scoring goals, which is playing like behind my main striker. So, okay, fine, I understood. I'm no more a runner. All I'm what's required of me is being in the box at the right place at the right time, scoring those goals. So I understood, okay, I'm no more a runner. Let me understand what the coach is saying. So then that call-up was done. Then there was another call-up again where he was asked again, so why is Awilo not there? And then he said, if you look at Awilo's age, and then if you look at Prince and Kamatuka's age, those boys are young. Do I need to choose between Awilo and the youngsters? Again, I understood that reason. So I was like, okay, fine. Those are youngsters, and for me personally, those 2 boys, they are the next big thing of Namibian football. So as a senior player that has been there all these years, I understood his reason again. And then I think there was a journalist that asked him about, okay, but since Awilo is scoring, and then that's one department that we are lacking in as a nation, so why not consider him maybe partnering up with Peter up front and whatnot? And then the comment or his reply was, let him continue scoring goals for fun. We might call him for the CHAN qualifiers. For me as a senior player that has been there all the years, giving that kind of a comment and then telling the journalist there's CHAN qualifiers coming up, and then for people that doesn't know, CHAN is just for local based players. And then I personally felt that's a platform where you can, as a coach, you can test out youngsters, because this is just for local based players. You can test out all those youngsters, but then now for bigger games like AFCON qualifiers or even COSAFA, from what I've done in the local football currently, I think I should be considered, because now you are calling up close to 40-something players, and then you are leaving me out, which means, am I not that good, or what's actually the problem there? So I was like, okay, fine, let me just step back, and then I made the announcement of retiring. Personally, later on, I felt it was an emotional decision at the time, but for me, like you said, the current squad now, they are not doing a bad job. They are doing good. It's just like they are still inexperienced players. They are youngsters that only came up now, so they still have a lot to learn. And then I think Colin is a coach that can help them out, or any other coach that comes in, as long as he understands and see the potential that the boys are having.
But don't you think also your experience is needed? You are talking about Edma Kamatuka, Prince. Don't you think they would benefit from your experience? Not necessarily you playing alongside them, but probably in camp. They see how you train.
Yeah.
They look at the application when the coach talks to you, the application, and you just taking them under your wing and saying, don't you think they would benefit from you?
Definitely they will, because when we graduated to the national team, we also had senior players at the time that was there. Heinrich Isaacs, Lazarus Kembi, Tangeni Shibao, them. Even Henrico Portes was there at the time. So they were the players that took us under their wings as well. So we learned from them, and then immediately when they were out, we took over. And then so currently now, me as a senior player, I think I still can make a major impact on of some of the youngsters. The other day, even at training, Ronnie made a comment at the training field saying, if you look at a player like Willy, with his name and stuff, he can easily stay away from training, but he never stays away from training. But some of the youngsters, they don't attend training on Mondays and Tuesdays. They only start coming to training on Wednesdays and stuff. So I can still be an example to some of the players on that level as well.
Yeah, because I also spoke with Ronnie, who was sitting where you are sitting right now, and he said to me, when I asked him that, Ronnie, you're now coaching Awilo. It was just after you guys won the championship.
Yeah.
So you're coaching Awilo at Stars. You've seen what he has done, what he's giving you. Would you say he still qualifies for the national team? And he said, yes, he can still qualify for the national team. And I said, what does he need to do to get back to the national team? And Ronnie said, Awilo knows what to do. He has spoken about it with you. Have you done what you guys have spoken?
Not yet.
What are you waiting for?
I won't say. Okay, I think basically I think it's the same as going back to Colin or whoever, and then sit down, talk, and then maybe announce that I'm available or I'm coming out of retirement. But then also, if you look at the Stiga situation, Stiga also retired after our AFCON, but then about him coming out of retirement, he was also called. So, but me as a player, I've mentioned it on so many occasions where I'm saying, if the call comes, I will honor it. But then I think they are just maybe waiting for me to say, no, I'm coming out of retirement or I'm available.
Yeah, but I mean, when you announced it on social media. You can still go back on social media and just say, I'm available for the national team, and everything is buried, because there are people who believe in you, there are coaches who believe in you, there are players who believe you, and somehow, there has to be that balance of saying, even just sitting down with the coach and saying, Coach, I still think I can do this. I can offer you something different.
Yeah, there was a time I tried to reach out to Coach Colin and Ronnie as well. I think that was when that Lolo, my brother's situation came up, when the coach and Lolo had that issue. But I tried to come in and then say, but me personally, that's Lolo's decision, whatever they spoke about or whatever issues you guys are having. I'm not part of it. So if that's the case of you guys not including me in the national team, I don't think I have anything to do with whatever you guys are having there. But then Coach Ronnie came back to me, and then he explained to me that he knows he knows me as a player. We work together at PA as well, so he understands, and then I must just do my thing of just keep on playing. But Coach Colin never responded to my messages or to that message. But I was like, but I ran into him a few days after, but we never spoke about that as well. But I was like, okay, fine. At least I tried to reach out to him just to let him know that I'm not part of that. So yeah, but that was basically it. I tried to reach out, and then Coach Ronnie came back to me, but Colin never replied.
Okay. Yeah, but I understand your situation. For me, I would love to see everybody happy. Whether it's you who's happy, the nation, everybody's crying for you. They want you. I have a couple of questions that I got from colleagues in the office. Let me see. One of them is about the decision for you to announce that you had retired.
Yeah.
Would you say you regret that decision of announcing that you retired?
Yeah, I really do, because like I said, it was an emotional decision at the time. Since at the time I felt I really felt disrespected. Keep the way the coach kept on changing his reasons of not having me in the team. So as a player, you were like, okay, let me step back because there's no respect coming from that side as well. Based on what you are doing in the local league, imagine you are the top goal scorer. Last season I was a top goal scorer. I was a top assist. We won the league. I played 29 games out of the 30 games, and still, when you are calling 40 players, there's always a reason that's been given on why I'm not there. So I felt disrespected as a player, as a senior player that has been there for a long time. I also worked with Colin when he was assistant coach to Coach Manetti. So we never had issues with each other, and now all of a sudden the reasons keep on changing. So I was like, man, I felt disrespected. So that's hence the reason, the decision of making that retirement or announcing that retirement thing.
Like, okay, the next question is, in Namibia, can football players really make a living based on your experience of having traveled outside the country, seeing how much people get paid? Can Namibian footballers really, make a living out of playing football alone?
Personally, I don't think they can make a living just by playing, unless you are a regular household name that's on a good paycheck at a club, or you win a league and then you get that bonus or whatever, and then see where you can invest that money. But personally, I don't think Namibian football you can make a living out of it.
The salaries are not that good.
Yes, it used to be better back in the days, but now I think after the COVID and stuff, it's worse than it was. Yeah,
things are going down.
Yeah, it went down.
Would you then say we have seen quite a number of local players? They play, they get a little bit of money, but after a few years we see them struggling in the streets. Have you invested properly? Have you set up yourself that, you're not getting any younger. Have you set up yourself that by the time you finish playing, there will be something coming in?
For now, there's a backup plan, which is actually after my dad passed on the farm and stuff. So my mom also just retired recently, or she's done with work. She turned 60, so for now she's taking care of things while I'm still active this side. But I think that's one thing that I'm also looking into, which is farming. Keeping the flame of my dad burning, which is the farm as well. So other than that, there's companies that I registered. So those are also things that's in line.
Coaching?
Yeah. I don't think I'll go into coaching.
Why?
Maybe scouting or an agency. Maybe scouting. I've never that thought never crossed my mind of going into coaching. Because they say, doesn't mean if you're a good player in your days you can become a good coach.
But also the best coaches, they became good coaches by accident.
Yeah. So, but like I said, that thought never crossed my mind. I'm really interested in scouting or agency. That sense on my company, I've also put that in. So I might go into agency. Okay. Yeah.
Bring a agent. And then looking at it, June is the Men's Mental Health Month, where we look at the the mental health of men. I would like to twist it a little bit. Of footballers. We don't have sports psychologists in Namibia. How big a role, I know probably in Finland you guys had somebody to talk to, and how big a role were they playing, for you while you're in Finland? You're away from home, it's a cold country, there's not so many black people, you don't have so many friends.
Facing those racism and stuff. I think it was very important because as soon as I signed the contract, the first thing that they assigned me to was to that sports psychologist. We sat down and then they asked me whether is there any other problem that I might have coming that side. And then obviously you had to open up, because sometimes we as men we don't open up, but then you will try and keep a few things away from them. But they were telling me, no, if you open up, then it means you are cleared, and then because it's part of a medical checkup that they do that side. So that was something that they looked into, and then that helped me as well, because now you have to adapt to another country, which, like you said, it's cold, and now all of a sudden you come to a country where it's just a lot of white people as well, and they also told me, no, you will face one or two people that's still gonna use that against you as a black person. So you need to deal with all those things, but just be ready. They prepared me well. So I think here in Namibia, I don't think we have something like that, or I haven't heard of it. And then if you look at some players that also went out of the country, came back, failed, or whether it's financially or whatever, the road that they are taking, I think that's something that can help a lot of youngsters now currently, the financial discipline part and stuff.
And still talking about sports psychologists, with your situation now with the national team, do you think that would have also worked to try and sort of level the ground and make relations cordial?
Yeah, it would have. Imagine immediately after all those reasons were given, if someone could have assigned me to a psychologist just to say, okay, this is what the player is going through. Please sit down with him, have a talk, and then just for me to handle the whole situation in another or in a different way, instead of just making that emotional decision of running to social media and then making that announcement of retiring.
Okay, all right. And then in terms of just mental health in general, what have you learned? Being out of the country, you are facing all these. Let's say in Zambia, the language you don't understand it. You are sitting there with a group of players. They are speaking the local dialect, and you don't understand anything. How have you handled that?
Yeah, going out of the country is really not for the faint-hearted. To put it in that words. Whenever you go out there, it's like now you are moving away from your spouse, your family members, your friends, whatever it may be, going to another different country whereby everyone around you is just speaking a different language. You don't know whether they are gossiping or whatever they are saying. For you, it's just like, okay, let me just hope they are not talking about me sitting there and stuff like that.
Does it work in your mind?
For me personally, it did not, because I played in Thailand as well, which was not an English country. They just spoke their language there. So even the assistant, okay, they had a translator that will just come to you and say, no, this is what the coach wants from you, or this is the situation here and there. But the coaching on the field, or whenever they have meetings, it's just in their language. So that's where I learned that whenever you are outside, you need to make peace. Like, this is not your country, this is not your comfort zone. So whatever thing that's thrown at you, you must just take it.
And looking at your age now, I know you are approaching your mid-30s. How many years do you think you still have to play?
The drive is still there. The legs is still there. And one thing that I've told most of the youngsters that were asking me, how can you still be competing on the highest level and then still do good on the age of 32, 33? I told them, no, it's just a matter of, if you don't have injuries throughout your career, like major injuries, like knee injuries that could threaten the career, and then if you as a player still have the drive to compete on the highest level, I think you can go further than what I am now.
And you didn't tell me how many years you're looking at, 2, 3?
Like I said, the drive is still there. I'm taking it a season at a time, so I don't want to say 3 years from now I might hang up the boots. But for me currently, I just want the second league. Like you said, I'm going for Coach Rudy's record, and then we at African Stars we're also going back to competing in the CAF Champions League, which is something that I also would like to thrive in.
All right. With that said, just to probably wrap up our discussion, Champions League last season, what went wrong for Stars?
Personally, my opinion on what, I don't think there was something wrong, because the preparations were on point. We went to Botswana, stayed there for 2 weeks. Played most of the big clubs there in Botswana, which is also taking part in the CAF Champions League as well. We did good. I don't think we lost a game that side. We came back. we also invited a team from Zambia that ended second on the log in Zambia, which we drew here at SKW, and then from there we went to SA for a whole week in advance to go prepare, climatize and stuff like that. We did good the first game. We actually had more chances that we did not bury. So if we had taken our chances in the home game in SA, I think it would have been a much more better outcome. But then the game in Zambia, I told the boys, I've played in Zambia before, and knowing Power Dynamos, the region where they are from, the Copper Belt. They have a good support structure that side, and Power Dynamos is a team that can knock the ball. So, and now the one advantage they had was having the crowd behind them. And then unfortunately they scored through a penalty, which was, looking at the footage afterwards, which was not, it was a foul outside the box. But then referees are also human. But then we also had a chance that we did a goal that we scored, which was thus allowed by saying it was a offside. Yes. Yeah. But then, like I said, the referees are also human. But then us preparing was good. I won't say there was any problem. It was just a mental thing of fighting against the crowd that side, that hostile environment in African countries.
And then obviously you have to play outside of the country. The national team plays outside of the country. We can't host matches. What's your feeling? How bad is that for you if you look at it?
Like I said, a crowd plays a major role when it comes to those big games or competing on the highest level of football in terms of the continent. Back in the days when we used to play at the Sam Nujoma Stadium, the nation could fill up Sam Nujoma Stadium or even Independence Stadium. And if you look at the results that we grind out of those games, even the Nigeria game that we just spoke about, that time the Nigerians came full squad of Obi Miguel, Chelsea players, and the stadium was packed. But then if you look at how we played as youngsters coming up at that time, we could manage those players. So I think if we can work on the stadiums and the stuff like that, we as a nation, we are in good hands in terms of playing football. Players really know what they want. They want to go out there, play abroad, so they are pushing for it. It's just a matter of bringing the games back to Namibia, and then we can really do it.
And then having watched the Brave Warriors the past week, what would you say? They played 2 matches, drew both of them. One is against Tunisia.
Liberia.
Sorry, yes, and the other one is Liberia, yeah. What would you say?
The Tunisia game, I only got the last few minutes, but the Liberia game, I watched it from the start. And then that's one thing that I've always mentioned as well. We as Namibians, we are always struggling when it comes to those aerial balls that are pumped into our box. Because if you look at us as Namibian players, we don't have height on our side. So those West African, North African guys, whenever they play in Namibia, they know, okay, they have speed. Don't let them run. So whenever they get the ball, just pump it into the box, because the only player that might be tall is the goalkeeper. If we can eliminate the goalkeeper or block the goalkeeper, we can outjump the others. So that's one thing that we as players or the technical staff need to look into, just to let the players know. Let's avoid those set pieces against us, especially in our final third of the game. And then from there, but for the past few years, I think Namibia has put down their stamp, or us, we have put down our stamp in terms of competing with the big boys. If you look at the game against Cameroon, Tunisia, AFCON, Tunisia again, those are big guns when it comes to African football. And if we can match them, go for a draw, and even win against those teams, I think we can do it.
Now, Willy, finally, if BA, we know where BA is now, the situation at BA. What's your take? That's number one. Finally, number two, if BA came calling, would you go and help them? What's your take on where they find themselves right now? And if they came calling, would you go back to them?
Honestly, now it's all about the ambition that a club has. Before, when I came back from Zambia, I had a shutdown of both camps. Before it was first the BA camp. They told us no, they are assembling a team, whatnot and whatnot. And then when I met the Stars camp, they told me from the get-go, no, we are assembling a team. This is our ambition. We want to win the league and then we want to go play Champions League. So I was like, okay, no, these guys knows, or the African Stars camp knows what they want. For BA, it was just like, let's assemble a team and then be a force to be reckoned with. But now with African Stars, they were like, okay, this is the plan. We win the league, go for Champions League, participate in or go for qualify for group stages. So I knew these people on the African Star side, they know what they wanted. But now the question, if you say if BA comes calling, if BA comes back with a similar ambition as well, I might consider it. But if you look, I don't regret joining Stars as a rival back in the day. So for me, I'm happy where I am, and the treatment that I'm getting from the African Stars side, it's second to none.
But I'm saying, look, they're in the first division. It hasn't been a good season for them. They had to rely on the last two matches to survive. There have been fights outside, in terms of the control of the club. If they say, you are one of ours, you are a legend in the club, we want you to come and help us.
In the first division?
Yes.
Unfortunately, no. I don't think I'll go there now. With the form that I'm on, I think I'll still want to stay at Stars or whichever club is competing at the highest level.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, Awilo, thank you very much for joining us, and that's a wrap for now. It is a Game Time with Marco. Please remember, go and register to vote, and we'll be back again next time with another interesting guest. Bye-bye.
And that's a cue.
1 hour.
1 hour, 7 minutes.
I was trying to time it at 1 hour.